marijuana, reefer, Buddha, smoking weed, fire, cess, purple, loud, ganja, Kushambe, hashish, charas, hash, keef, dab. You know, the thing about this weed, and everybody got something to say, you know, people don't understand anything. Like, there's nothing that a person can ever tell you. This is why it's aware to be mindful of what you listen to on this plane of existence. And you have to have the right jurisdiction of how to listen to people. Yeah, you heard 1,000,001 times, oh, it's natural and da-da-da-da, this, that, and the third. And then you hear people say, well, you shouldn't get your mind like this and da-da-da-da-da. Well, overall, in the fact that there are millions of plants that if you burn them, they create a smell and aroma effect or a contingent out effect to where you would feel something. Not all or as the right word, I would say, romanticized as marijuana. But moreover than what they do when they burn, or what you can do when you cook with them, or how they smell, or whatever the effects, moreover than that, they have other purposes. They have purposes to serve the earth. Cause and effect. The marijuana plant itself is a strong radiation absorber. It's one of the strongest radiation absorbers. If you wanted to remove radiation from an area that had small water sources, there are plants that can sustain themselves off a little bit of water and absorb a lot of light. These are C3 and plus plants. C3 meaning the level of radiation and sun that they can take in. And when they grow to larger sizes and they get to their tree status and their full adult status, to where they can sustain themselves, the trees get stronger in the ability to pull in a higher level of solar radiation. And then even from the roots, as the leaves solar panel and they pull in a lot of light from the roots, they can absorb the radiation from the ground. Now, we're not talking about mixing it with everything else and have a bunch of crazy shit in the air and say, yo, that's supposed to, nah, it does that. Other trees can do other things. You see different trees expel levels of heat. Some trees sweat or rain on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be next to a tree and you'll feel droplets. And it could be hot outside, dry everywhere else, but this tree is going, you know, they call them crying trees. Different trees got different attributes. And what I'm saying is, for you to have somewhat of a physical connection to these things, whether or not you eating them, you drinking it as tea or whatever, we always had a relationship with plants as human beings in our life essence, period. No matter if it was actually known in a different time of existence as something to do with or how. And you have to know moreover than this, that each plant has a spirit, has its own soul. So these things speak to us through feelings. This is why we are attracted to certain plants. This is why certain smells from roses pull women in a different way. It's because that spirit of that plant is speaking to the women, the spirit of that individual, woman or man. So with us talking about, oh, if you doing this, if you doing that, you have no clue what you're talking about. Because if the spirit say, go get me a burger, and I want that burger, and you are a vegan, and the spirit needs you to do that, you better do it or you're going to miss out on something. That's just the reality to it. Like, people always quick to give an ideal of how life should be. You can't tell me what to do because you're dialed in 2 inches or 2 decimal point numbers to the left of me. So you're never going to be my perception of how I see or receive anything. Yeah, you can give me some motivation on what you're doing. That's if you want me as value in your circumstance. But the rational understanding when dealing with anybody in existence is to motivate them in existence to be the greatest version of their spiritual understanding. Because that is dialed into a certain perception. So I need you to be at your height of that perception. I don't need you telling me X, Y, Z because you really don't know what you're talking about at the end of the day. My spiritual connection with everything in existence is what's going to be that's going to help me understand my next existence when I go to recreate another one. Spiritual contracts. This is how you got this life. You think people just came and put a billion species out here, a billion this, a billion that? No, these are spiritual contracts. And the ones that are inanimate don't move, you think they ain't got no spiritual life. Nah, they got spiritual life. Spiritual contracts. That's why everything spirals in a certain aspect to create a world. That you are a so-called term of a world. At the end of the day, your job is not to force information on anyone. Your job is to illuminate information when one seeks that. If you have that, so to speak. With that being said, you are as victim as a person who points the finger and tattletales and or runs and destroys by word of mouth, or what they call what is it called when you go and you defamation of character? It's the same concept when you talk against spiritual attributes or the presence of something that can't speak for itself. When you think you know because you can see the physical attribute of things, that's on surface. Cleansing, everybody knows the ultimate cleanse comes through burning of the fire. No matter what it is. So if something has a spiritual attribute of it, and of that fire burn, it takes place. That means the control of how I deal with that is how I'm going to get information from that. Nobody's not saying that in life you cannot overdo anything. That's with anything in life. You can overdo drinking water and die. You can overdo eating sugar and get sick from diabetes and everything else. You can be an alcoholic and crash and kill people. It's not even about in comparison. It's not, if I eat plastic, I can die. But it's legal for me to obtain. My point is, for you to say XYZ is irrelevant. That don't even fall in the same category of living objects. I can't compare something living to something non-living. If that tree has a spiritual understanding, that means I need to deal with it as such. So I'm never going to compare a living object to what alcohol is. That is a chemical process that man did. I got to be a whole idiot to even try that. And for you to even sit here and go through this world and y'all sit there and play with this understanding like you think you know, y'all should be idiots in yourself, sitting there like, yeah, I'm stupid. Why am I even sitting there doing this? But no, it's logical to you to debate something that has a life against something that doesn't. It is what it is, man. Y'all do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, just know you're stupid. Because people are going to do what they want anyway. That's just at the end of the day. Like, what are you going to kill them? Well, if you kill them, you're going to kill them in the process of them doing what they want anyway. So it doesn't change anything. You still lose. So be mindful. My nanny used to say, you get more with sugar than you do with shit. You already know the vibes. NAGA.